Hello, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So this is episode 3 of Wheeling with Vince. This is my no hype option trading weekly. I don't know what you can call it, video series, podcast series that I do live. So please let me know in the comments from where you are watching and if you're enjoying this new series. I'm sorry, normally this video is on Fridays, but this week I had to save my dad's butt, who has a rental apartment where one of the tenants moved out and he started renovating the place. And then he got a pipe that broke and got a huge water damage. And then somehow his people didn't manage to get the place done in time. And Saturday, the new guy was moving in. And on Friday, the place was not yet livable. So he called me, and basically me and my friend, who I own my renovations company together with, went to his place to help his people to basically get the most important things done, like, connecting the dishwasher, connecting in the oven, make sure that there was like a door missing. So it was pretty crazy, like an outside door missing. And I worked something like 12 hours that day to get it done, and we did it. But I was too drained to do this series, and I couldn't prepare. So I'm closing out January. I actually updated my table that is here, and I wanted to go through with you guys on this table and what moves I have made and the logic on these moves. So I want to do my usual disclaimer. Hey, AK Willie, thanks for being here and commenting. So I want to do my usual disclaimer, which is none of this is investment advice. I'm beginning options trader. Like, my purpose is that if I can figure out how to make about $20,000 a month, I can retire my dad from this portfolio. So that's why I'm doing this, and I want to share this with you guys. And the third disclaimer is that I truly believe that if you don't need income from your portfolio, you will be better off doing a lot of due diligence and picking a few stocks like Rocket Lab, like Palantir, and just not touching them and holding them for a long time. So if you're young and you're in the wealth accumulation phase, then I truly believe then you should do this as a, extend your knowledge base and find out new and interesting things, because options are very, very interesting. But again, truly believe that you will get better returns just picking right stocks. If you need income from your portfolio for whatever reason, like the one that I have, the portfolio that I have and show on YouTube is together with my dad, and he wants to retire, and I don't want to sell Rocket Lab, and I don't want to sell Palantir, and options was a fantastic way how you can have your cake and eat it too. Hi, Galaxio OP. So thank you so much. Cool. So what do I want to speak to you guys about? And that is January. So here is where you can see in my options table how much I am up or down on different stocks. So I started wheeling on Enphase. Tesla was the one that I started with first. And I'm up $51,900 in about 4 months on Tesla, and I'm super happy about that. That's despite the fact that I messed up really big on a covered call. This is the one. I sold a $300 cover call when Tesla was shooting up to the moon. And this is really the downside of the wheeling strategy, which is that when the stock has a very sharp move up, you really limit your gains. So how much did I lose on that? 42,000 freaking dollars. So this total would actually be 90,000 in 3 months on Tesla had I not prematurely sold a cover call on $300. And you know what's crazy is you can see that when I sold this, it was on November 7th. There was 1 day left of this November 8th call option, and I think the stock was like 290 or something, and I was like, there ain't no way in 1 day Tesla goes over 300, and it freaking did. So I had to roll it on the last day, and then I rolled it to a 312, and I think that the price was like 330 straight away. So this was like really underwater. And when Tesla went on a new high, I think it was this day, November 19th. I don't know if you guys can see this. Maybe I need to show it much bigger. So this was the day when Tesla went on all-time high, and I was like, okay, I give up on this cover call. I'm just going to freaking sell it, or sorry, like buy it back, take my loss, because I believe that Tesla is going to run away. And that was a very, very good decision at the time. And then instead I sold covered calls when the stock price was much, much higher. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here you can see I sold a 500 covered call, which expired worthless. That was very good. I sold one that was $6,900. That's the one that I got in January. And I sold now one on the 28th of January for $450, and I'm up. So like I got 4,100 for it, and currently it's worth 2,851. So I'm up, I don't know, you guys can help me out with the math, probably 40%. Is this true gambling, Bray? Hustle Brothers, hey, how's it going? So I don't think that option trading is gambling if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, then yes, it's true gambling. And again, I'm trying to do it as a no hype option trading channel, which I think is missing, because there's so many people who are like, oh, you're going to retire and you're going to make so much money, you can quit your job, and this is the best thing since sliced bread. And it's just not. So keep that in mind. Cool. So that was the Tesla position. So in January, let me see. You know, it's really weird, because if you do a P&L, you can see that this is my P&L per month. And it's really, really misleading, because if you roll an option position, you realize a loss, but it doesn't mean that the trade itself has to be a loss. So you can see that I made $5,000 in September, minus 4,600 in October, 113,000 in November, minus 72,000 in December, and minus $241 in January. But these are not really accurate. Let me show you. Like, for example, in January, I made 6,900 on the Tesla cover call. Okay, let's open it and let's see what goes into this equation. That's the easiest way to find it. It was two trades that got finished in January. So for example, an Enphase trade, you can see I had a $72 put option on Enphase that I sold. It was already rolled from an earlier one. That's why it's so close together. And I had to roll it again because the stock was below the stock price, and sorry, the stock was below the strike price of the auction, and I did not want to own the shares, and I had to basically realize a loss, but I got more paid. So like I rolled for a debit, and I had to buy back the option for 16,000, and I got 18,000 on selling the new option. So I actually earned 2,558 on this. But as in terms of P&L, it's still, the P&L is only looking at that I sold something for 9,000 and I had to buy it back for 16,000. So that's a minus 7,000. So this is why this P&L looks a bit funny. And for me, what is more reliable is actually this one, because this one actually tracks all the current transactions, and the ones that are not closed, you can see I write market, and it basically tracks the market price of where the option is. So it actually shows a true snapshot of where I am with the wheel strategy on the certain stocks. And so I did two trades this month. It was Tesla call, and I think that I'm really this month are going to try to focus on selling calls, because I have only been selling puts basically, and that was not super good. And basically, just when I decided I'm going to really focus on selling calls, that's a little bit of a more bearish strategy, or I would say not a super bullish strategy. Then we got the tariff news from Trump. So now I really wish I would have sold a lot of call options on Friday. How red do you guys think the markets are going to be when we open on Monday? So I really have to judge if I want to like weather the storm and not sell calls and just, you know, wait for the fallout and maybe a little bit of recovery and then sell calls, or I judge that, okay, it's so bad that I can safely sell calls and we will not recover here in a 1 month. So it's remains to be seen tomorrow. Amit is in the house. Amit, what's up with you? You, I think, killed it on Robinhood options last year on leaps, I think. And now I saw in January you killed it on a put option that you sold on Hood. And I really hate myself because I started doing put options on Hood, but I didn't do enough DD. So I only made a meager 1,900 on Hood. It feels so stupid when I look at your 20,000 gain. Yeah, you're wheeling. That's pretty good. So I'm sorry, guys. I got distracted by this cool guy, Amit here. Vince, we need the next Rocket Lab stock. Yeah, we all do. You know, it's so interesting because trust me, I am looking. I have no plans on selling Rocket Lab. I do believe that it's not normal that a stock goes up 300% in 3 months, and that's basically what happened with Rocket Lab. So I think that the stock is going to rest a little bit, but that's just a short-term thing. Like on long term, I'm super bullish the company, not planning to sell any shares. And in terms of the new Rocket Lab stock, when I find it, I promise I will announce it, and if the stock allows it, I will make a weekly series on it, so it will be a new weekly. But I just don't believe that you can force these things. For me, the stock market is a little bit like fishing, you know, that you have to wait, and when, you know, the right opportunity comes, you have to you know, hook the fish and then reel it in. I don't believe that you can force it, that Rocket Lab was so successful now, and then okay, let's go and look around and we go into the next Rocket Lab. I believe when the next opportunity will come and find me, and I will yeah, I will let you guys know. Custard and chips. Tomorrow will be a nice day to sell puts if we are in major red. That is so true. I'm just fully full on my put positions. I don't have margin to sell more puts, so it is what it is. But if you are able to sell puts, tomorrow is probably a very, very good day. And just keep in mind, you do it on stocks that you anyways want to own at the prices that you want to own them. Amit, happy you have this series. Awesome for more wheeling content. Yeah, it's wheeling is so interesting, Amit. It's something. It's like it's a whole new universe. You spend a lot of time on it. And I don't know if it's just me. I have a very hard time. You know, like if somebody does a video and explains how put options work, it's not the same as like selling your own put option and then watching it go bad and having to roll it, or, you know, being assigned the stock and then you go like, okay, what do I do now? Shit, I was assigned the stock. Or, you know, having the experience of selling a call and then the strike price goes way over what you sold the call at. And I think that these are real like battle scars, and you have to get them in practice. So this is why I want to share as much as I can about my journey, so it's easier for you guys. You are talking cash secured puts, correct? I do. The recent puts that I have sold, the guarantee for them has been the margin on my account. The thing is that I have a lot of Rocket Lab and I have a lot of Palantir, and for some reason, when this Japanese scare happened, I don't know if you remember, last year in around August, I basically sold some out of the money call options, which I thought would secure my account because I was really thinking that the market was going to crash for some time, you know. Boy, was I wrong on that one. And both Palantir and Rocket Lab blew way past my strike price on the cover call options, and I'm in the process of rolling them up. But basically, the amount of margin that I can use on my account has completely blown up, because somehow Interactive Brokers, I have Interactive Brokers, considers my account super safe, because Palantir can fall like 40%, and I think Rocket Lab can almost fall 50% before the calls go out of the money. And that means that my account is fully protected on the way down, but unfortunately it doesn't really move on the way up until I manage to roll up the positions. So I feel extremely safe with the amount of margin that I have to sell the puts on margin. So just to make that very clear. But if you're a lot more risk averse, then obviously you should have the cash and use that as a security when you are selling puts. And yes, I still have, it's 65,000 or 64,800 shares of Rocket Lab. But as I said, I have covered calls on them at $15, which I'm trying to get rid of. And that's where I'm babysitting and rolling up as the time goes up. So currently just working on my theta decay. But one thing that is really interesting with this situation that I'm in, because at first I was really pissed that it happened. Yeah, that would be 2 million. Amit, you're right. Don't rub it in, man. Don't rub it in, man. My account would be $2 million had it not been for the stupid cover calls. But what's really interesting is when I rolled up the cover calls on Rocket Lab, I had to pay about 190,000, something like this, and I unlocked a value of like 400,000. So that means that I had a 70% almost for sure return on the money when I was rolling up. So probably people laugh at me now that I missed out on a lot of gains on Rocket Lab. But for the next couple of years, the account is almost for sure to have 60 to 70% gains per year as I'm rolling up the options. So if Rocket Lab just, chills out a little bit, I can catch up. And then instead of having made 2 million this year, then I will have made the same amount. It just took me a bit longer, Yeah, you unlocked a ton of margin. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. Amit, do you mind disclosing like how much you are wheeling with? And by the way, you should be here in one of these episodes so we can talk wheeling. Just open up a $50 Rocket Lab cover calls, and you'll eventually be able to roll out of it. Maybe this tariff thing will give you the opportunity, especially if it turns into a back and forth war. Yeah, I mean, this tariff thing, guys, it's so interesting to me. I was born and I grew up in Hungary, moved to Sweden when I was 18 years old. I consider myself Swedish for a number of reasons. I'm a citizen of Sweden, and yeah. But Hungary was for a very long time under Russian rule. And whenever I speak to my grandparents, you kind of understood that we called it the Russian bear, and you had to live with the Russian bear. That's what the Ukrainians failed to do. And you never wanted to wake the Russian bear. So basically, if the Russians were like, you guys need to bend over, then you bend over and you hope it's over in 5 minutes and it hurts a little bit. And then you still have 24 hours and 55 minutes of your day when you can do what you want. You just need to, please the Russian bear a little bit. And I feel like Trump is, let's call him the American eagle. And this is what I feel that the rest of the world doesn't get, because eventually he's going to get what he wants. And last weekend, I spoke to some Danes and I'm like, what about selling Greenland? And they're like, no, we've had it for 800 years. And I'm like, but you guys don't get it. Like, eventually he's going to get what he wants. And why don't you guys do a cash grab on Trump and just ask for a ridiculous amount, wipe out your national debt and take the win while he wants to pay? Because what if the US is going to instigate Greenland and they're going to have their own independence movement, and then they're going to vote, and then they will like vote independence from DK, and then they go into some weird alliance in the US, which in the end is what Trump wanted, but Denmark just basically loses out on the whole thing, and they don't get a dime for it, and they just basically lose that land. And I don't get that logic. And this is the same with Canada, because I feel that on Canada and Mexico, he's not even asking for outrageous things. He's just asking to secure the border, which is, I mean, you know, if you don't have borders, you don't have a country. It's like, honestly, if you look at it, it's not an outrageous thing to ask. He's asking to stop fentanyl in, you know, coming into the country. Again, who doesn't want that? And all you have to do is just, yes, sir, we will work with you, and then the tariffs goes away. And I really think that this is still a negotiating tool, and the tariffs have to go into effect to show the other side how serious he is about the tariffs, and this probably speeds up the negotiations by super much. So I think, I mean, if the market really goes red on this news, I think it could be a very good buying opportunity, you know. Amit, futures in 25 minutes, we'll see how bad it is. Yeah, for some reason I don't have access to pre-market data. For me, it starts like a few hours before the market opens, so I'm gonna look at your tweet about it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be bad. Let me see the comments, guys. By the way, if you have questions for me, please put it in the comments. This episode, I just wanted to show what I was up to in January, and that I'm really planning to focus on calls. I maxed out on puts for now. So February, I'm really trying to focus on calls, and it would be nice to make over $10,000 in PNL. And Enphase for me can make it alone, because on Enphase there is this option that I have been rolling, this one here, and this option alone is 18,753, and that would just take Enphase to go from 60 whatever it is to 72, or, you know, like get close to it. So it's very possible, but probably it will not be tomorrow. It will be very red tomorrow. My last hope is that Enphase is reporting earnings on Tuesday. So maybe they start reporting that their solar business is turning around. Yeah. Cool. So that was the options part. Now I want to take your guys' questions. So on Rocket Lab, if you guys are interested in Rocket Lab, here's a free tip from me. Try to look at in the money put options that you can sell at $40. I was actually looking at it. It's super deep in the money. Let's say if you sell 2026 ones, I believe I had it up on the last show that if you, I think it was like, basically if you net out the option premium that is being paid, it's almost like buying Rocket Lab for like $21, because you get paid like $19 for the option, and it's a $40 strike price, right? And the stock is at $30, so the stock would have to go below $20 for you to lose on this. And when you sell the super deep in the money put options, you get money on your account, you get interest paid because that money is on your account. It's a pretty sweet deal. And if the stock shoots up to $40, then you locked in a $21 price on Rocket Lab. The only downside of this is if Rocket Lab goes to 60, then you only make money until 40, because after that it's just you don't make more money. So but you're getting the stock a lot cheaper than it is today. So depends on what you think Rocket Lab is going to do. So what is this, Adam? Yes, but investing is like a bar of soap. The more handling, the worse it often gets. Yeah, but love the channel. Okay, thank you so much, Adam. Nice. One of my most popular videos on my time in Budapest. Love Hungary. Cool. I thought you only have finance contact 30 and wake up. So if you put your channel in the comments, I would is it called 30 and wake up? I will check it out. It's pretty cool. Yes, but in Canada, we have taken action on the border and he's still implementing them. Yeah, the problem is, I think, how you guys are saying it. I just had it with my son did something stupid, and then my wife got really angry with him and she started yelling, and he was like laughing at the stupid thing that he did. And then like my wife was like, I need you to say sorry. And he's like, sorry. And then she got so pissed, she sent him to the room. And then I had to speak to him, and I was like, look, it's the grin on your face that created this reaction. And when she's like this pissed, you just, calm down, wipe the grin off your face, and you just very quickly say sorry, and then she will calm down. None of this happens, because I think that based on the reactions that I see in Canada is like, you're doing a little bit on the border, but then you're like, Trump this, Trump that, we're going to retaliate. And I think if you would have just said, yes, we will work with you and let's do it, it would go away without the, we will retaliate and so yeah, going to be red tomorrow, definitely. That's interesting. You're saying from your grandparents. My grandpa told me his grandparents said that the Russians always carried brindles. It's an old way of saying livestock thieves. Not sure I know what you mean. Nope, I only have travel content. That's funny. But why do I think that you make finance content? Maybe there is a guy who has a very similar name. Like, no, I don't know. I'm sorry. Just hang out on finance channel. That's pretty cool. Thank you. Those are the ones that I'm looking for. If Rocket Lab dips again, I will sell a bunch of in the money puts. Yeah, I think they're very, very good deals, the Rocket Lab in the money puts. And especially if you get it at a nice dip, it's you're getting a much bigger. I don't know, the premiums on Rocket Lab currently is insane. So yeah, really recommend looking at it. Cool, guys. That was it for me on this episode. I hope you got something out of it. It was a quick one, and again, it was a little bit on a different day than usual, and I didn't get to prepare as much. I will prepare a lot more next week, and let's see. We all know there is pain coming tomorrow, so let me know. Let me know, guys, if you are ready mentally to take the pain. And I'm maxed out. But let me know, guys, if you are going to be buying the dip and what you are buying. Do you pay someone to do your wheeling taxes? Yeah, I do. Like, our portfolio is in a Swedish company. So it's not private. I have 20% taxes on the gains. And I am able to, because I know a little bit of bookkeeping, so I can prepare all the paperwork, which is basically the slave work and 99% of the time consuming work. And then I give it to a guy who basically finishes it and does all the reporting on it. But because on Rock, like it's so interesting with what I was explaining in the beginning of the episode with the PNL and what actually happened. So when I rolled the Rocket Lab position, because that Rocket Lab call option was like over $1 million in minus, so I booked in a $1 million minus, even though the option was changed out for something that was almost $1 million. That doesn't matter, because in the bookkeeping I have lost $1 million, and that means that I have super much gains that I can have. So basically, I can have $1 million of gains, and it will be offset by this Rocket Lab call option until the other call option runs out of time. So I'm pretty good on taxes. Currently, I'm very happy with the taxing. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed, and hopefully I will see you next week on a new episode. Ciao, ciao.